Call the meeting to order. Nina, please take the roll.
She was ready.
I was, okay. Councilman Bundy?
Present.
Councilman Brennan?
Present.
Councilman McCain?
Present.
Councilman Stokes?
Present.
Mayor Six?
President, let the record reflect that we do have a quorum for the April 26, 2021 meeting, 6 p.m. Run down to item number 2, presentation of post-executive certification presented to Chief of Police Scott Connor by Brad Johnson, Post Director. So the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the time to be here this evening to make this presentation. We only really get to give a handful of these a year. They don't come very often, and they really represent the pinnacle of a police officer's career and success ladder in this profession here in the state of Idaho. My name is Brad Johnson. I'm the Director of Peace Officer Standards and Training for the state of Idaho. So thanks again. It's my pleasure to make this presentation to Chief Connor. In order to qualify for this level of certification, you have to have served as an agency chief executive officer for at least 3 years, have over 100 hours of executive level training, and already possess either an advanced or a management level certification here in the state of Idaho. When Chief Connor got here, he did what's called challenged our certification for police officers in the state, and successfully so. And then he qualified with his certifications from New Mexico for his basic, intermediate, and advanced certifications here also in the state of Idaho. And so he's met all of those qualifications very easily. He also has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Eastern New Mexico University, and you're continuing to work on your master's program now here at Boise State. Is that correct? Okay. So anyway, with that as the backdrop, it's my honor to make this presentation on behalf of the Post Council of the Post Executive Certificate to Chief Connor. Congratulations.
Sorry, Amy.
No, you're fine. It's freaking.
Can you hold a hand?
Thank you.
Smile.
I think the floor should be yours for a little bit.
Well,
Congratulations.
I don't want to take a lot of time. I will say I just want to thank the mayor and council for giving me the opportunity to be able to serve here. And I will continue to serve this great community for many years to come. So, it's quite an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief. Hey, Brad. I want to thank you for taking the time to come all the way from Boise or Meridian, where and present that to Chief. I know on behalf of the city, it's pretty cool to see things like this happen for Mountain Home. We don't do a good job of really showcasing our accolades, and for you to make it down here to showcase one of them, we really appreciate you doing that. Chief, thanks. Keep up the great work, man. That's good stuff.
I'm excited. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Alrighty, we'll run down to item number 3, the presentation of the Mountain Home Skateboard Essay Contest. Winners, Councilman Stokes.
Cool. I don't get to do this ever, so this is exciting. So first off, let's thank council and the mayor for helping fund my idea of celebrating the skate park. Every time I drive by it, I see loads of kids having a blast, and we came up with the idea. We all funded this project, and we hope that Kaylee and Zachary, who wrote fantastic essays, will use these at our skate park. So come on up and get your skateboard, all right? There's Kaylee's.
Gracias.
And there's Zachary's. Thank you guys all so much. Can you put it right here? Go right in here, right?
Alright. Okay, ready?
Brock will get you.
On 3, 1, 2, 3, send it. Awesome. Congratulations.
Okay, you guys are up. You guys are up. You get this. You want to talk?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for giving us kids K-12 this opportunity. I will very much enjoy the skateboard. Thank you to Brad Stokes for the idea.
Cool. And we had one more winner. He was not able to attend, so Brendan will get this scooter that our attorney will hold up. That was donated all by Mayor Sykes. So Brendan, please contact me, okay?
Congrats, you two. That's awesome. Your guys' essays were pretty awesome. So I'm not gonna lie to you that you guys did great. Really good. Alrighty. One down to item number 4, recognizing persons in the audience. Would anybody like to get up? Hearing none, we'll run down to item number 5. Councilor, you got anything really quick? Councilman Stokes, or sorry, Councilman Brennan?
New sign looks great. That is high definition. I like it. Yeah. So I think we'll probably just have to, encourage traffic safety there. I hear a lot of comments every once in a while about the busy intersection, but I think, I don't know, just training drivers that driving is more important than that sign, and we hope there's not any accidents there. But I'm super excited. It looks great.
Alrighty, run down to item number 6, the consent agenda. Councilman, I know you wanted to have some questions, so Councilman Brennan, you want to start out with the first one?
Sure. Thank you. Item number F, the Galena Consulting item. Just wanted to talk about the bill and how it will be paid. I assume by different departments, since this is going to be something that benefits fire, police, probably all of them, streets. And so, do we know the breakdown of the bill for this?
It'll be in thirds.
Thirds to those 3 departments?
Yeah.
It's paid for equally? And does each of those have that in their current budget this year for that?
Probably not, but, so professional fees in general fund has 45,000. And streets has $5,937, so that's probably gonna overthrow that line. And Nina will actually pick up the fire department, because she's general fund. So I take 2/3. She'll take 2/3 and the streets will pay 1/3.
With that 45 that we have? Sorry, hold on just a second. Fire and streets at a city hall.
Is it fire, police? Fire and
Police and
police will
fire.
be out of city hall.
Okay.
And streets will be out of the street department.
So streets will just pay they'll just clear out their balance that they have and everything else will come.
It'll probably overdraw that line, you'll have to offset it with something else in their budget.
Okay, they'll still make them take the equal third out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Does the admin budget need that money for something else that was budgeted for already? Rather than this last minute?
We never know how much professional fees we're gonna have over the year, so we just estimate by what we spent the year before, put that in the line, so.
Nothing specific that we've
nothing
forecasted?
Specific that we forecasted.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman, any other questions on consent agenda?
Mayor?
Councilman Brennan?
I just basically have if we could have a quick rundown by the attorney for the settlement agreement. Just I guess for clarity here.
That's G, wait here, the J?
J. It's a long legal document.
Yes, Mayor, members of the council, I'm the one who wrote this agreement. Basically, I turned it into a settlement agreement, and lest there be any confusion between the two entities, with the rec district and the city for the transference of an easement where the retention pond is on South 18th, and also for the right-of-way itself. They had that land appraised, and they deemed it to be at $54,000, and based upon a district court decision that occurred a couple of years back, they were concerned that there was an agreement for an exchange of consideration for it, but it had never been accomplished. Rather than do a payment from one governmental entity to another, governmental entities obviously work in conjunction with each other on lots of different projects, and so this settlement agreement recognized an exchange of building permit fees, one that we had already done, another one that is still pending, which the number might change, which is why I wrote the language saying or subsequent building permit, and then also providing a certain amount of not gravel but fill material, construction material, which I had to be educated on how to phrase that, in burying in 12,500-ish amount of that, and that would be a full in exchange of any disagreement we might have about the value of that. And so what we gain, and so the attachments there are a permanent easement for the retention pond. We didn't necessarily want it to be a fee simple transference. That's, for the most part, it's a distinction without a difference. But then the right-of-way itself is a fee exchange, fee simple, which means we now own the land. It's dedicated to us, which is just fine for putting the property boundaries, et cetera, et cetera. It's something that's already been done, long since accomplished from a couple of years back, at least a few years back. But this now corrects the taxpayer doesn't particularly care. It comes out of one coffer, goes into another coffer, and no money is actually being exchanged. But it finalizes what we did beginning in 2015 and came to fruition in, what was that, 2019? So.
Thank you.
Okay. They have not accepted it technically by their board, but their legal counsel and their administrator made some changes to this agreement, some suggestions on what to fix and to clarify, and so I did that. And then I didn't hear anything back, so I'm assuming it's perfectly fine, since I made the changes that they requested.
Any other questions on the consent agenda, Councilman? Councilman McCain?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second. There's been a motion and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
I'm down to item number 7, discussion session on recommendations from planning and zoning to approve a zoning title amendment to amendment Title 9, Chapter 8, Section 3, Subsection B, access to public street, to amend Title 9, Chapter 16, Section 13, Subsection B, design standards.
Can you say that again?
Holy moly. Councilman Brennan?
Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to have I guess just a kind of an open discussion with Brock and Richard Keedy about some clarifications I had on this.
Rich and Brock, come on down. Or I guess you could stay there. You gotta get close to the mic. Mayor, Council?
Thanks for coming forward. Feels much better talking right here. So, I guess as you know, I had a couple of issues with this moving forward, and by talking to the two of you together, we were able to, I guess, iron out my concerns. And I guess for clarity, my concern is that this document, I should probably back up a little bit. The master pathways plan, right, designs a big section of pathways through the city, and when people develop or redevelop, I suppose, correct me if my terms are wrong, if they develop or redevelop property, they could be forced to remove their sidewalk and put in a 10-foot asphalt pathway when they construct when they reconstruct 25% of their current dwelling.
Or more than $10,000 in value.
Okay, thank you for that. And so where I struggle with this, I like the pathways plan, there's no issue, but what the document doesn't clarify, and the reason for that, Rich, you said that we can't talk about every last little scenario under the sun on this document. And so I guess the reason I say this is just so that this council understands my approach moving forward when we have one of these recommendations, is that I will never be in favor of forcing somebody who wants to redevelop their 25% or $10,000 of their home, force them to strip out their sidewalk, their 5-foot sidewalk, and put in a 10-foot pathway, because that to me is a taking of their property, right? And legally it may be like a sidewalk, you're responsible to maintain it and all that, but it's not yours. Like you can't. And so that exception is not drafted into this. It says you will, right? If the city comes and says you will, then you will. And I don't know how to clarify that, if the council even wanted to put it in writing, I guess, but just for the record, I will never be in favor of taking 5 extra linear feet of somebody's property just because it's part of our plan. And so if it goes from a 5-foot sidewalk to a new development of a 10-foot pathway and then back to a 5-foot sidewalk, so be it, I guess. I'm okay with that. It may not be aesthetically pleasing. Just, I guess, are you guys clear what I'm saying? It's mostly for you guys, really.
Well, Mr. Mayor, when you're done, I have a comment too.
Okay, I'm done. I just want to make sure that my point is clear, that I don't want to ever take somebody's ground for an expanded pathway.
Councilman Bundy?
I agree, but when I came in and spent some time with you guys looking at this plan, and you showed me where all the plans were, it seemed to me, and it looked like on the map, that any new parts of this pathway are in undeveloped areas.
The majority, yes.
Yeah,
Okay, and so where the path ends and meets with other new existing sidewalks, the path ends. So the concern that we would force somebody with 5-foot sidewalk to expand to a 10-foot sidewalk is valid. But when I looked at the plan, when we put these new areas in, it's going to be done by either developers, like perhaps down that, on that far side of potential Thunderbolt. That would be put in by the developers, and so it would be the responsibility of the developers. And the parts of the path that connect back behind the auto ranch, down behind the
Ganger's property.
Yep, down that area are areas that are not developed yet. So they will be in before people go in and subdivide. So, yeah, the idea that we would force someone to expand from a 5 to 10 foot is valid. But when I looked at the plan, it seems like that's already been taken into account and taken care of. So I think we're in good shape, and it's a valid concern. But when I looked at the plan, it looked like it had already been thought out, and the new areas don't go. We're not going to go into a 5-foot area and change it.
Correct.
Okay.
Mayor, council, and that was a great example of right there, Thunderbolt. So coming down 10th Street, if they develop all of that, there's one house on the corner that's left. And if that person happened to do some things, the common sense rule says you're not going to make that person have the
Because
10-foot sidewalk.
it had never been a part of the path.
It's never part of it. So they already have, it's already there. I mean, if they didn't have sidewalk for some reason that they didn't have any, that would be a different story. But if they already have, I mean, it's basically kind of a common sense thing we're going to look at. I mean, it's right. You can't. There's a lot of things you just can't write into that for that. But I think the one thing that with our departments and what's going on, having a good sense of what you guys are looking for, we're going to follow something like that, and we're going to ask, hey, here's something we're looking at. What do you think about that? Especially with something like that.
Yeah.
Because I think you're exactly right. I agree. We're not going to take something we don't need to. So.
And no, if we ever found something within code that just to us did not make sense, that we have always the option to come to you as this body to say, hey, our code is saying do this. However, we believe the intent isn't there, or that this situation is so singular that maybe we should go a different route. That, that's why we hope that you guys made good choices in hiring department heads. Sometimes we think otherwise. But we're here to exercise professional discretion, to know that when we are in those circumstances, that we can let the governing body know so they can ultimately make the final decision in how we proceed.
I agree with Daniel that I don't ever want to take property away from somebody for something like that, to where understanding what you guys are saying, I can agree with it, to where, so.
Councilman Brennan?
Just to follow up, you talk about, I guess I don't know the terminology, but an appeal, essentially. Is that what you're trying to say? So the code may have language like you shall, right? And you're forced to do it. When that building permit, so to speak, comes to the building department in Hank's office, does Hank have the authority to waive that, or will he have to tell the applicant to come to the city council?
Hank does not.
That was exactly what Lee was saying. They would have to come to the city council. However, I like to note that we are here to serve the people of Mountain Home to the very best of our ability. I don't like people putting a lot of work towards a building permit, noting that, oh, well, you're going to have to appeal it and then we'll do this. So we'll always do our best to try to make the process as painless for everyone, because ultimately we are a solution-oriented staff, and we will try to remove as much red tape and bureaucracy to get to the ultimate solution.
But I think that's, Mayor Council, I think that's the one thing. I mean, the three of us, I mean, if all three of us go, no, I think that this, you need to do this, and they certainly think they don't, we would say, well, then we need to take this to the council and say, because this should be done. So you guys might change it, but, I think that's about what it would be. If three of us all agree, says, no, you need to put 10-foot side, it makes sense to put there, so we would say, if you want to appeal that to the council, then go ahead and that's about what, again, you don't need every little thing. You'd be here forever with every little thing.
And I would note, you made the point, Councilman, that, well, what if Rich, what if Brock, what if Hank isn't there one day? And someone comes in and they're like, all right, tear it out, we're putting in this pathway. They can appeal, and they can come to a council meeting and they can consult their elected representatives to ensure that their best interests are at least seen after.
Okay.
All three of us try not to be in the same vehicle or the airplane at the same time.
As a follow-up to the attorney, are all decisions of not planning and zoning, the building department appealable to the council?
Generally, yes. I mean, we want to have in our code the ability to exhaust administrative remedies before turning to a court. So
okay.
We want that in our code so that a person doesn't get some decision from a non-elected official and then have their only stop to be in a courthouse. So yes, almost. I'm trying to think of something that wouldn't be appealable, and I'm drawing a blank on it. But generally, the role of the building inspector is, this is supposed to be a de minimis. I won't use Latin. These are supposed to be decisions that are just stamped. We don't want them to have discretion. If it's a discretionary call, it should be going to you guys. But sometimes the applicant will think that the decision, the rubber stamp, shall we say, is the wrong one, and then we still want it to come to you first. So.
Okay. Brock, Rich, thank you. I totally like the master pathways plan, and for new development, no problem there. It's just that little speck of when somebody reconstructs.
With you.
And this is a long-term plan. This isn't a 5-year plan.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. Thank you.
One person could about that 5 foot. No,
Alrighty, Councilman. Any more discussion on item number 7?
Mayor,
Councilman Bundy?
I move that the recommendation from Planning and Zoning to approve a zoning title amendment to amend Title 9, Chapter 8, Section 3B, access to public street, and to amend Title 9, Chapter 16, Section 13B, design standards be accepted.
Second.
It's been motion second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Run down to item 8. Removed items from the consent that there were none. We'll run down to the copy of the FY 20 urban renewal audit provided to the council as required, informational only. Any questions, comments, concerns on that one? Councilman,
I just wanted to, this says for information only, and I understand, well, what I just want to make sure I understand is that the Urban Renewal Agency's budget is not controlled by us in any way, shape, or form. So this truly is just for our eyes, and we can't do anything about it. Is that right?
the only thing that you guys can do is approve recommendation to their board.
For the people on the board. Okay.
But,
Go ahead.
Mayor and Council, it says in their requirements that they have to give you a copy of their audit, so that's why it's on.
Okay. Thank you.
Discussion decision on planning and zoning recommendations to approve a request by Leap Charity Solutions for the annexation and zoning of R4, a parcel of land approximately 8.39 acres located on east side South 5th West Street, south of West 12th Street, South Street, and east of Chucker Circle. Councilman.
Mayor?
Councilman Brennan.
Again, I had another conversation with Brock about this, and I was super confused as to the recommendation number 3, why we had to go through Elmore County, and when it's an annexation agreement. And I got that worked out, but I guess I'd just like to say that it's now one piece of ground, and the new owner wants to have a little bit in the county and a little bit in the city, so they have to go through that first. Is that right?
Correct.
And then we're only going to annex that little bit that is split off.
That is in.
And by us approving it today, as soon as the county gives their signature to it, it's a done deal. They're annexed.
Yes.
Is that right?
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, Councilman. I hear a
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy.
I make a motion that planning and zoning recommendation to approve a request by Leap Housing Solutions for the annexation and zoning to R4, a parcel of land approximately 8.39 acres located on the east side of South 5th West, south of West 12th South Street, and east of Chucker Circle be approved.
Second.
So you did that way better than I did, Councilman. It's been motioned to second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Alrighty, discussion decision on planning and zoning recommendation to approve a request by James Prather for a conditional use permit to erect a 50-foot off-premise multi-tenant sign to be located on lots 1 and 2, block 2 of the Kmart subdivision off City View Drive.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Bundy.
Right, real quick, before you process that, I apologize for the interruption, but I do want to acknowledge that I did make an error on the findings of fact that said that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended denial. That was an error. They recommended approval, and it has been fixed. And I know that we just wanted it on the record.
Correctly.
It was.
Thank you.
I apologize.
That's question 1, so thank you.
Councilman Bundy.
Thank you. There's question 1. This one is the retail area that we're developing across the street from Walmart and just south of the car lot. So this, when we talk about things, this sign right here is going to be a little bit higher, but does, in my opinion, coincide with the area. So it's a retail area, and we're consolidating the retail signs, and I think it's a good idea. When you go up there, it's going to allow them to put them all on the same sign, retail area, in a designated retail area. We're not putting it anywhere else, so I think it fits with what we want in the city. That was just kind of a comment I had after we answered that first question, so thank you.
Mayor?
Councilman Brennan.
I'd like to clarify off what Councilman Bundy said. When we're talking about putting them all on one side, can another developer that has not yet been identified, can they say, I want my own 40-foot sign? Or is this requiring all on one?
So with the development, how it's being sold, I believe Mr. Prather, with every land purchase, that there isn't any freestanding other signs that are going to be permitted, just because that does take away land that can be occupied by other components for development, parking, trash, landscaping, what have you. And the purpose is exactly what Councilman Bundy said, to just have one sign that shows people everything, instead of everyone having their own, and having, some people call it just sign fatigue. necessarily, but just having one clean sign that says this is what's going on there, and anyone that buys into that development will be allotted a portion of that sign.
Okay. Councilman McCain?
Brock, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't our sign ordinance state that in a facility like this, they are only allowed to have one sign and all of the occupants will be on one sign?
Correct.
So then somebody couldn't come in and put another sign up there.
Okay, cool.
All right, Councilman.
I'm on a roll, Mr. Mayor.
All right, let's go.
Make a motion on the planning and zoning recommendation to approve a request by James Prather for a conditional use permit to erect 50-foot off-premise multi-tenant sign to be located on lots 1 and 2, Block 2 in the Kmart subdivision off of City View Drive be approved.
Second. It's been motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. I'll call for the question. Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Alrighty, we'll run down to item number 9, ordinances. Annexing young property located at 1490 South 5th West Street.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy.
I make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule and read this ordinance by title only for its one and only reading tonight.
Second. It's been motion and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Buddy?
Aye.
Nina, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance annexing to the city of Mountain Home, Idaho, the real property hereinafter described and declaring the same by proper legal description thereof to be a part of said city of Mountain Home, Idaho, and providing an effective date.
Councilman, you've heard this ordinance read. Do you wish it to pass? Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Alrighty. Let's run down to the next ordinance, zoning R4 young property located at 1490 South 5th West Street.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy.
make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule and read this ordinance by title only for its one and only reading tonight.
Second.
Good motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Nina, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to the city of Mountain Home, Idaho, declaring the real property hereinafter described to be a part of residential R4 zone, subject to limitations of allowed uses, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
Councilman, you've heard this ordinance read. Do you wish it to pass? Councilman Stokes?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Alright, running down to item number 10, final comments. We'll make this really quick. Hey, I know Shast's not here, so we have Chairman Green going to give us a library update.
So we have a couple of really cool things going on. First, we last week had the HVAC units replaced on top of the roof, 3 of them. Those were over 24 years old, so they were definitely due. That was done. We are, Shasta has made the determination that we're going to go ahead and open up the commons area for use again. So instead of being limited to basically just browsing, the commons area will be open. And we are moving forward with applying for a grant for solar for the roof on the library.
Good job. Miguel?
Just grass is growing like crazy now that it rained a little bit. Seems like we've been working on irrigation at the dog park. So hopefully this week we'll get it all in, and next week we'll get to see it and get some trees planted.
Gene?
For the most part, our street sweepers running, patching. This time of year when we're doing patches, we're trying to catch up on finalize the cuts and stuff that we have open. And in between times, just kind of getting out to the dump and trying to get that thing kind of tidied up so we can get that thing turned over and possibly hopefully close it this year. Okay. That's the goal.
Hank?
Getting busier. People are coming in, getting building permits for all kinds of different stuff. Hubble's street's done, and they're requesting building permits for new homes out there, and obviously CBH has gone crazy, so we're getting busier.
Fantastic. Chief?
We're busy. We got the new young lady officer who just started. We're getting her through training so that she can start her start her field training officer program on the 15th of next month. Getting her qualified in firearms and all that good stuff. So working through the hiring process for a couple of certifieds now. Looking at those applications this afternoon. And, we will be open, we'll have it open for non-certified for the next couple weeks.
Sorry, Brock. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was good. I was like, man.
Just like Hank, we're very busy. People have found Mountain Home. Our office is the busiest it's been for me since I've been here, just in the last 3 months. We will have a lot of development coming your way, a lot of residential development. I want to thank you again for approving those necessary funds for the impact fees. That's a very big deal. That's the number one best thing we can do right now to ensure that all of this growth that is coming to our community helps pay for itself. So I thank you for that. Industrial Rail Park is coming along. I signed an NDA recently about a user who's going to come and pay us a special visit. And I also spoke to another future user who's looking at doing multiple types of development there, both industrial and also commercial spaces as well. So things are going well. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you reading my staff reports, especially Councilman Stokes. And that's all I have. And as always, my door is open.
Really quick, any more from Union Pacific?
Nothing more from Union Pacific. I've emailed, I've called. I think I'm going to try a smoke sign tomorrow.
Okay. Darcy.
So in the recreation department, we have our last weekend of youth soccer. That's great. I was looking forward to getting through a smooth season. So I think everything went pretty well. I haven't had too many complaints about volunteers and coaches and stuff. But now we're rolling into softball and t-ball. So if you guys want to coach, sponsor, we need all the help we can get for our teams. And then this week is pretty busy with our Arbor Day drive-thru event that we're partnering with U of I, Councilman Stokes. Thursday, drive on through, 2 free seedlings. Let's see, what else? We have lots of people coming in to reserve parks in the office. So yes, things are getting busier for us.
Thanks. Shirley.
Other than general maintenance, the land app is up and running, fields have been planted, we're doing a lot of corn this year. We finished up that north gasket sewer extension, so that's ready to go. That's it.
You want to let us know that you don't want to flush anything in an X? I love her. She makes me laugh. Chief.
Real quick here, this upcoming Thursday we're going to be unique, and we're going to be offering S-130, S-190. It's basically wildland firefighting to our candidates on the department. They're a unique group of people. They're fitting in real well, and it's nice to be able to help them help us. So that training is going to be coming out. We also have a couple of rookies that will plug into that. So looking forward to that process starting. And at long last, we finally went through our frequency change. We have our frequency separated now. Our repeater side is up and running well. We had an extended fire this past Friday. It really tested the radio usage, and it seemed to hold up well, and communication was good. So thank you for that support.
Chief, do you remember the old dead spots you'd go to and you couldn't get it? Have you gone there just to make sure it's good?
We're still exploring that stuff, but and we'll continue to do that. But there's some extended areas we haven't done yet.
Okay. Rich.
Well, if you drove downtown, you noticed some orange barrels. So just to be patient on, traffic today, it's going to be habit for a while. So if you can avoid going that way, I would suggest you do that for a while. But no, we're excited about that. They're going to start mowing tomorrow, and going to see some paint on the sidewalks, and going to start saw cutting to get ready to start tearing stuff out. So along the buildings and everything. So we're excited about that. I did give you a picture of the great our turf downtown. They took it out, redid it. So got the mayor's approval on that. So that was all good. No, it looks really nice, and it has some different color. It looks like it's actually grass now.
Could have taken a picture, didn't have the wrinkle in it.
Right? That's what I'm saying. come back and look.
When I took it, they hadn't put the sand in that one yet, so I just noticed that when I looked at it. That's not a wrinkle, that's just the wind.
The wind was blowing?
It's blowing the grass. It's a kind of, there's a wave in the grass. It's pretty. But yeah, no, so that's great. That's going. Busy, getting all the wells, getting ready for springtime. Again, people are starting to water and mow, like I said, mowing, and so things are growing, so people are going to use water and things like that. So, but it was one of those, we had a great winter for storage. We didn't have a whole bunch of water coming in this winter, so it's kind of nice. So we're in good shape with all of that type of things. So, but yeah, it's good stuff happening. Like Brock said, we're busy. So.
I don't know how this works. A team, B team, or is it AB? Or how does this work? Tiff and Nina?
I'm just training Tiffany.
So that sounds like it goes to Tiffany.
Yeah.
Young Grasshopper's taking it in every day here, so it's been a lot of fun working with Nina the last couple weeks and absorbing everything she has to say to me, so I'm pretty tired when I go home, to be honest.
I listened to all of it.
Like, mentally, I'm like, oh! So.
Did she just say she's tired of your talking?
No, that's not.
I swear it sounded
Like, I'm rewriting my notes to make sense because I'm writing them so fast during the day. So.
Which is probably true because I talk really fast.
Paula?
Mayor and council in the finance department, I mean my own department just then.
Finance staff.
Refer to yourself as staff.
Yeah, we're working through the budget process, a lot of communication with the department heads and mayor, to make sure we're going in the right direction for the next budget cycle in the finance department.
Finance
She
department.
wants to be the finance director.
Director, that's right.
Director of finance.
We'll call it the DFM.
Director of Finance.
Councilman, you got anything?
Mayor?
Well, let's go first. Councilman Stokes.
Hey, I was curious if we could get an update from our awesome fiber team. I know they're out working their butt off, and I think that project is awesome, so that's why I ask.
I do want to fill you guys in, and I want you guys to send condolences out to Danny Katz. His father passed away this weekend, and then Kyle wasn't feeling too well today, so they both were out today, and we're not sure when Katz is going to come back. He's dealing with the loss of his father. So with that, right now I am taking Mike, Rich, Brock, and Kyle down to Ammon, and we're meeting with ETS, who is going to do our engineering platform with Mr. Patterson from Ammon. So we're taking them down there. We're putting those two groups together, and then I want to show Mike and Rich and Brock what it's supposed to look like here in the future. And I'll let you take the other half of that. I'm missing something.
No, we have Mike, how do you say his last name?
Juan?
On board. He's a go-getter. He's like 1,000% invested in the fiber. Always bringing new ideas, ask lots of questions. So he's excited to go to Ammon to see how it works. I've been kind of like, well, when you get to Ammon. So, he's great. He's ready to start reaching out to neighborhoods and doing what we need to do to start our moving forward.
Yeah, Tiff and Michael had an hour presentation meeting with the Entry Point team, and Brock said that Mike hit it out of the park with the development team. And what was it? Thunderbolt Landing. Who else was it?
Landing, and then another one coming off of Air Base Road.
So he sits in those meetings and lets them know, hey, this is where soon we'll have it to where you'll need to place your boxes here. Conduit needs to go here. He'll be the one that checks all that. He will make sure that they're placing them in the right spots. That guy's he's a go-getter. He's already made the flyer for the first LID. We reached out to Stephanie Bonney, and Stephanie Bonney will do it instead of the 35 to 55. She'll do it for 5,
Right.
I think. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, I talked to Paul after that meeting. He goes, "Oh, we do that in house." I was like, "There we go." So, and then she had a lot of great information. That lady's pretty. Knows her stuff.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh yeah. I told her, I was like, "Can we upgrade?"
I'm not allowed to do this while the camera's.
No, so lots of things getting ready to come onto your guys' plate, and we'll definitely keep you in the forefront before we do anything. We got ETS is doing everything for free. They're doing an engineering, something for Marty Anderson for a DSIP. We're going to try to go out for a DSIP grant for the Air Force again to connect them up to city services or city fiber optics. And then try to work out how we can use the American Rescue funding in conjunction of the Air Force Base grant funding. So we're just trying to figure out all that, and then we'll bring it back to you guys and let you guys make a decision, and trying to see how we get up to the fiber hotel as well. That connects us. We won't need a middle mile partner. We'll have I guess they said that connects us to the world. So if we can get up there, that'll be pretty amazing as well. Mike's getting flyers made, getting ready to rock and roll, and new heat map, new fiber map.
He's getting a tab so that when we have our stuff out in the field, it will be marked that it belongs to this Property City Mountain Home, so people can't just put the fiber into our conduit. So yeah, he comes up with new ideas every day. It's amazing. He's a good hire.
Good. Let's see here. What else got? That was it? That was it? Council Brennan?
Couple quick questions. I was curious with Rich, the status on the RV dump site. How long till it's completed?
Well, we're trying to get a bid on the concrete in there, so we're just waiting. We should have concrete. I thought we were getting it when we should get one tomorrow, I think. So I know somebody went home to talk to whoever we had a bid out on it. So yeah.
Okay.
So as quickly as we can. Yeah, we're trying to get that thing closed up. I know
Just a concrete issue.
It's started getting used right now. Yeah, it's just getting. We tried to get somebody else, they never gave us a bid, so we went with somebody else. So that's what we just had to get that done.
Okay, thanks.
It's just kind of a bigger project for us to do it in house. So.
Okay, thank you. Tiffany, any updates on the pool grant?
We did our presentation March 30th, and then that went really well, which I think we updated you guys on that one. And then May 19th, we go to the State Parks and Rec Board, and at that point's when they'll push it on to the federal level, if we get past them. So we're patiently waiting until May 19th to send our email of, well, where are we?
Nice.
So.
Sweet, thank you. Brock, I was curious, how long will it take him to do the study for the impact fee study?
Impact fee study. So I told her we needed it years ago. So she is on her way. She's been great to work with. I believe the analysis, everything that goes into it, because it's more than just comparing us to everyone around us. It's very in-depth, and it needs to be, because it's a third-party analysis. This is what we show developers, that the city didn't come up with this. It was an independent third party. She took all of this into effect. You'll probably have something substantial for us to present to you from her findings. I'm hoping around September. So this will take up most of the summer to do, but I'm hoping that we have a fee to amend our current one with. The impact fee, Councilman, by this fall, by late fall, that we have our findings, and then if you guys see fit, we maybe perhaps amend our fees to reflect what is found by the professional.
Does it go right from the professional to our vote up here? Are there any in-between steps? Like, we have an impact fee advisory committee or something. Do they have any say in that afterwards?
Oh, they will. They will in this one. Usually that's the body that meets once a year. This year they're probably going to meet multiple times, and they'll be involved with that process. Note that the Impact Fee Advisory Board Committee is made out of people in the development world. We have builders, we have architects, who are all in that body, who are going to be a part of it, and they will be consulted as it's done. So they will, I believe they'll receive the draft of her analysis, but the body that makes the ultimate decision whether we do anything different is City Council.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman, anything else? All right, I will adjourn the meeting.